Hey there, I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell of Helping Babies Sleep. Don't forget to hit subscribe to catch more baby sleep tips. Today I want to talk to you about acid reflux and your baby's sleep. I've seen this so commonly in my practice, and my own daughter suffered from silent reflux. So, reflux for sure can affect your child's ability to sleep and fall asleep. It also affects your confidence as a parent. And that's important because we have studies that show that the amount of parental intervention at bedtime can affect how often kids wake up in the night. Meaning, the more you help at bedtime in general, the more they wake up in the night. So the drive to sleep is biological, but the way we sleep is actually a learned habit. Okay, so all humans wake up in the night. But if your kiddo has to be rocked or held to fall asleep, when she wakes up in the night, especially after 4 months of age in particular, she wakes up in the night, she expects to fall asleep in that same way, and so she calls for you. Okay, so sleep is a learned habit. So how does that play into this whole reflux situation? So let's just kind of clarify what we're talking about with reflux. So the American Academy of Pediatrics talk about, in general, reflux. You might think about happy spitters. Lots of kids spit up because their esophageal sphincter, that junction between your esophagus and your stomach, is just not really tight. It's not that tight yet, and that will evolve over time. But there's a difference between that and gastrointestinal reflux disease, commonly known as GERD. With GERD, your child's really uncomfortable, and you may notice the symptoms such as arching their back during feeding. They may feel rigid in their tummy. They may be coughing a lot or have some sort of wheezing going on, and they have really forceful spit up. These kids are really, really uncomfortable. Okay, so you definitely want to talk to your pediatrician about your symptoms to get more information on that. I'm definitely not an expert on reflux, but I would love to redirect you to a source that I've found called Infant Acid Reflux Solutions. So I'm not affiliated with them per se, but I've had a lot of clients have great results with them. So you can go check them out on the web. Let's talk about the 5 reasons you're struggling with sleep in your reflux baby. So one, yeah, she's uncomfortable. Pretty obvious, right? And not only that, but often kids who have reflux, in my experience, need to burp more than the other kid, and sometimes they can be hard to burp. The second reason, right, she's actually in pain. So sometimes you'll see her grimace. And often what's happening with my daughter is the acid would splash back up her esophagus, and for her it came up into her mouth, and then she would grimace and smack it back down and swallow it. So if that's happening at night, for sure, that's going to interrupt her sleep. The third reason, especially with kids 4 months and older, is that sleep is a learned habit, kind of what I touched on the beginning, right? So if she's held, often we're feeding and then we're holding them upright for 20 minutes as per our doctor's instructions. And that's what you have to do, right, to help these little kiddos. But then I'm putting her down dead asleep. So when she wakes in the night, like all humans do, she's like, oh, where am I? I'm not in arms. Where's my mom? I'm going to call for her. And I don't think I know how to go back to sleep without them because how I've learned to fall asleep is on someone. The fourth reason your kiddo can struggle with sleep is you legitimately, if you've had bad reflux, you have a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder, right? Like it has been, if you had a baby who was colicky and refluxy and you were having trouble gaining weight, gosh, that is extremely stressful. And you are really tuned into all those burps, grunts, tunes, and everything in the night. And you might be pouncing before she's actually even really awake. The fifth reason people struggle with sleep is you have stress and doubt now that she's actually capable of doing a longer stretch of sleep. And if you have self-doubt that your child's not capable, it's not going to happen for you. Not that it's your fault. You've been through a lot already. Okay, here, let me give you 3 tips of how you can help your little one sleep. So the first thing is, if you fill your kiddo up with food and then lie them down, you're going to put more stress on that esophageal stomach junction. So we want to be disassociating feeding and sleeping. So I want you to be working on feeding either when they wake up or even mid-awake time so that you're not filling up their stomach and then lying them down. The second thing you can do is look to, is there any food, especially if you're breastfeeding, obviously, any foods that you're eating that are aggravating your little one. So for me, I really noticed that like Diet Coke aggravated the heck out of her. I remember I had a Diet Coke at 7 o'clock one night. She was up between 2 and 3 in the morning, just inconsolable, which was very unusual for her. Okay. So was it the caffeine, the soda? I'm not sure, but I've definitely seen things with other parents like high protein things can be harder to digest and aggravate it. Dairy for some people, and dairy can take up to 30 days to get out of your system, so it's a hard one to test. And then high sugar items. But start making a food log to notice if there's certain things that aggravate the reflux for you. The third thing is the timing of sleep. So putting kids down too early or too late for their age can set you up to have more struggles in getting them to fall asleep. So I'm going to include a link so you can download my sleep summary by age chart and figure out when your 5-month-old should be falling asleep. So for example, a 5-month-old can really only stay awake about 2 hours before they need to be back asleep. By 12 months, that's shifted all the way to 4 hours. And for a 2-year-old, it's about 6 hours before first nap. In summary, I just want to say don't lose hope because there's a lot that you can do to help your little one sleep. And you just want to make sure that you get the reflux under control first, and then we work on the sleep habits, knowing that she's out of discomfort, and getting more sleep will help. So, all my best. And don't forget to click to get the sleep summary by age.